Dear students, welcome to History Unit 1 Advent of Europeans to India. In this video, I will be discussing four important concepts like the trade relationship between India and Europe, the fall of Constantinople, European trade companies, and the Carnatic Wars. As you know, there were trade and commerce relationship between India and Europe since ancient times. India had good relationship with European countries, especially in the field of trade. Indian products or spices like pepper, cardamom, ginger, and many other spices had great demand in Europe. European traders used to purchase Indian spices. In this way, there were trade and commerce relationship between India and Europe. The Arab merchants carried Asian merchandise into Constantinople of Eastern Roman Empire. Eastern Roman Empire is also known as Byzantium Empire. The Arab merchants had control over Asian trade, whereas Italian merchants they had control over European countries. They would buy these goods, they would buy these spices, and they sold them in European countries. Here, Constantinople was the main center of international trade. Due to this, Constantinople was considered as the gateway of European trade. All the trades were carried through a city which was known as Constantinople. Arab merchants had gained monopoly over the trade in Asian countries. They had complete control over trade in Asian countries, whereas Italian traders they had complete control over trade in Europe. In this way, during ancient times, Arab merchants and Italian merchants played very important role in this trade. But in the year 1453, one important event took place. The name of the event was the fall of Constantinople. The trade and commerce between Asia and Europe was taking place through the city of Constantinople. Due to this, Constantinople was considered as the center of international trade. In the year 1453, Ottoman Turks captured this Constantinople. When they captured it, all the trade routes connecting the city of Constantinople came under the control of Turks. Turks gained complete control over Constantinople because the Ottoman Turks captured it in the year 1453. When they captured Constantinople, they started levying too many taxes on the goods passing through these routes. As a result, trade became unprofitable to other European trade companies or other European countries. At the same time, Spain and Portugal they were also trying to break the monopoly of Italian traders, and they started encouraging enterprising sailors to find a new sea route to India. The main reason for the discovery of sea route to India was the fall of Constantinople. It was one of the reason. Another important reason was Spain and Portugal they were attempting to break the monopoly of Italian traders. Italian traders had complete control or they had monopoly over trade in European countries. Along with this, the invention of compass, astrolabes, and gunpowder provided further impetus to this venture. In this way, scientific developments also led to the discovery of sea route to India. Here, finally, Yes, a new sea route to India was discovered. It was Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese sailor. He started his journey from Lisbon and finally he reached Kapadu. Kapadu is near Calicut on the west coast of India in 1498. Vasco da Gama discovered new sea route to India in the year 1498 and finally he was successful in discovering a new sea route to India. He discovered new sea route to India after the fall of Constantinople. Here he started his journey from Lisbon and finally he reached Calicut. And the route which was discovered by Vasco da Gama continued to be the route of trade between India and Europe for so many years. The other Europeans followed the same route. In this way, the Portuguese were the first to re-establish trade between India and Europe. After Europe, after Portuguese, it was the Dutch and French and even the English came to India for trade. Vasco da Gama helped other European trade companies to discover sea route to India. First one, Portuguese. Now let us see the contributions of Portuguese. Portuguese, they were the first to arrive in India in their 1498 and they were also the last to leave India by the sea route. That means they left India in the year 1961. After Vasco da Gama, it was Francisco de Almeida who arrived India as the viceroy of the Portuguese. Francisco de Almeida was the first viceroy of the Portuguese. His major achievement was he implemented blue water policy. Who implemented blue water policy here? Francisco de Almeida implemented blue water policy. His main aim was to establish the supremacy over the sea instead of supremacy over land. After Francisco de Almeida, it was Alfonso de Albuquerque. He came as the viceroy and he was considered as the real founder of Portuguese Empire in India. When he came to India, he waged a battle against the Sultan of Bijapur in the year 1510. He captured Goa from the Sultan of Bijapur. In this way, Goa became the administrative center of the Portuguese administration in India. Goa was the Portuguese capital. But here, the Portuguese had absolute monopoly over trade with India for almost a century, but their power declined. They were not able to face the competition of English and French. That's why their power declined in India. In this way, Portuguese started their journey from 1498. They were the first to came to India and also they were the last to leave India. After Portuguese, it was Dutch. Dutch, they are from Holland or Netherlands. Dutch, it is also known as Dutch East India Company, and they established their East India Company in the year 1602. The main aim of this East India Company was to do business with Eastern countries. Eastern countries like India, Java, Sumatra, and Indonesia. For that purpose, they started United East India Company. United East India Company means Dutch East India Company. Dutch, they are from Holland or Netherlands. And when they came to India, they established their warehouses in many parts of the country like Surat, Broch, Cambay, Cochin, Nagapattinam, Musulipattanam, and Chinsura, and in some other places of India. In this way, they broke the monopoly of Portuguese in India. They were able to break the monopoly of Portuguese in India. But later, in the beginning, they were able to break the monopoly of Portuguese trade in India, but later they were not able to face competition from the English and the French. They limited themselves to the Spice Islands in Indonesia. In this way, Dutch also lived for short time because they could not face the competition from the English and French. That's why they concentrated on Indonesia, especially Spice Islands of Indonesia. After this, we can see English. English or the British, they were the other important European trade company here. On 31st December 1600, Queen Elizabeth, she issued a royal charter authorizing the East India Company to trade with eastern countries for 15 years. The company started the business formally in 1613. The British East India Company or the English East India Company was established on 31st December 1600. During that time, British Queen was Queen Elizabeth. She gave permission to the East India Company to start business with eastern countries for 15 years. As per this royal charter, East India Company started their business in the year 1613. During that time, India was ruled by the Mughals. Mughal king was Jahangir. He issued a royal permission to English East India Company to establish their first warehouse. Warehouse is also known as factory. First factory or warehouse of British was established at Surat. In the year 1617, Sir Thomas Roe came to the court of Jahangir. Sir Thomas Roe, he was the royal ambassador from the court of James I. He arrived at the court of Jahangir. Sir Thomas Roe got permission from Jahangir and finally he established the factories of East India Company in other places of Mughal Empire. Earlier, the first factory was started at Surat. Later, due to the efforts of Sir Thomas Roe, they established their factories in some other places of Mughal Empire. Here, after this, the English established their factories at Agra, Ahmedabad, and Bhruch. In the year 1639, the English got Madras from the king of Chandragiri and established a strong fort named St. George Fort. Later, Charles II, the Prince of England, gave Bombay on an annual rent of £10 to East India Company in 1668. Here, in the beginning, they established their factories at Surat. Later, they established their factories at Agra, Ahmedabad, and Bhruch. And also, the English East India Company got Madras from the king of Chandragiri. And along with the help of this, they established a strong fort which was known as St. George Fort. Later it was Charles II. He gave Bombay to East India Company. In this way, British were able to establish their trade companies in many parts of the country. 1690, they purchased three villages. The name of the three villages were Sutanauti, Kalikata, and Govindapura. All these three villages were built on the banks of river Hooghly. Along with this, they built Fort William. The city of Calcutta grew around this fort. In this way, they were able to establish their control over Calcutta also. By the 17th century, the English had established Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta as the center of their presidencies. Name the three presidencies of the British: Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta. By the later part of 18th century, the English made Calcutta as their capital. Now Calcutta is known as Kolkata. Earlier, Calcutta was the capital of the English East India Company. They implemented their own civil and criminal procedure codes in the areas that were under their control. They implemented their own rules and regulations in the areas which were established by them. After this, French arrived India. French were the last European trade companies who arrived India. Here, the French East India Company, it was a government-owned company. English East India Company was a private company, whereas French East India Company was a government-owned company. It was established in the year 1664. British East India Company was established in the year 1600. Here, French they started first factory at Surat in the year 1668, whereas the English East India Company also established their first factory in Surat. Later, they in the sense French established their factories in Machulipattinam, Chandranagore, Mahe, Karaikal, Kasim Bazar, and Balasore. These are the major factories of the French in India. 1764, the French took Walikondapuram from a local Muslim official, developed it as a major trade center. Earlier, the place was under the control of Muslim official. The name of the place was Walikondapuram. When the French got it, they developed it as a major trade center, and this Walikondapuram became their capital. Later it came to be known as Puducherry or Pondicherry. Puducherry or Pondicherry, the old name of Pondicherry was Walikondapuram, and it was under the control of Muslim official. British established it as their major trade center. Finally, it became their capital. Along with this, Dupleix. Who was the Dupleix? Dupleix was the Governor General of the French in Pondicherry or Puducherry. He came to India in the year 1746, and his ambition was to establish the French as major power in South India. He wanted to establish his control or the control of the French over South India, and his ambition of establishing the French as a major power in South India led to the Carnatic Wars with the English. In this way, the Carnatic Wars were fought between the English and the French. Here you are seeing the competition between English and French. The Portuguese, the Dutch had withdrawn from India, unable to withstand the competition from French and English by 18th century. Portuguese were the first to arrive India in their 1498. They were not able to face the competition from the Dutch and the British. Dutch arrived India and they were not able to face the competition from the English and the French. That's why they left India by 18th century. Finally, French and English resorted to show off strength in order to establish their political supremacy over India. Finally, these two European trade companies started wars among them to establish their control over India. Meanwhile, political instability arose in the regions of Hyderabad and Carnatic, and both the English and French tried to exploit the situation in their favor. At the same time, the political instability which took place in Hyderabad and also which took place in Carnatic helped the English and the French to interfere in their internal matters. Another name of Carnatic was eastern part of Tamil Nadu. Carnatic means eastern part of Tamil Nadu. The political situation which took place in Hyderabad and which took place in Carnatic helped the French and the English to establish their control over India. Finally, it led to three Carnatic wars. Now let's see. First Carnatic War. First Carnatic War was fought in the year 1746 and it ended in the year 1748. In this way, First Carnatic War was fought between 1746 to 1748. Here, Dupleix was the French Governor General. On the request of Dupleix, Labourdonnais, a French military leader from Mauritius, invaded Madras and captured it. Labourdonnais captured Madras. He came from Mauritius. Why he came? He came on the request of Dupleix. This forced the helpless British to request the help of Anwaruddin, the Nawab of Carnatic. When Labourdonnais attacked Madras, British took the help of Anwaruddin. Anwaruddin was the Nawab of Carnatic. The army sent by Anwaruddin failed to defeat the French at Madras. When British requested Anwaruddin to attack Madras, but the army failed to defeat the French from Madras. Finally, Labourdonnais took money from the English and returned Madras and went back to Mauritius. He took money from the English, returned Madras back, and he went back to Mauritius. This enraged Dupleix. Dupleix got angry and he attempted to take Madras but failed. Finally, the First Carnatic War came to an end by the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. The Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle was signed between the French and England. These are all about the First Carnatic War. Now let's move to Second Carnatic War. Second Carnatic War started in the year 1749 and it ended in the year 1754. In this way, we can say Second Carnatic War was fought between 1749 to 1754. In the changed circumstances, French made Salabat Jung, another son of Asaf Jah, as the Nizam of Hyderabad. After the death of Asaf Jah, he was the Nizam of Hyderabad. After his death, his son Salabat Jung was made as the Nizam. He was helped by British. An officer named Bussi was stationed in Hyderabad for his protection by the French. In the Carnatic, Chanda Sahib had become the Nawab with the help of French here. In this way, Second Carnatic War started and Robert Clive of East India Company attacked Arcot, the capital city of Carnatic. Arcot was the capital city of Carnatic. Robert Clive defeated Chanda Sahib. Chanda Sahib was imprisoned and finally killed in the war. Chanda Sahib died, and after the death of Chanda Sahib, the English made Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was the son of Anwaruddin as the Nawab of Carnatic. Muhammad Ali was made as the Nawab of Carnatic. The Second Carnatic War finally ended with the Treaty of Pondicherry. First Carnatic War ended with the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. According to this treaty, the French recalled Dupleix. This war brought some prestige to British, whereas the French suffered a great political setback because they were defeated in the Second Carnatic War. Last one, Third Carnatic War, which was fought between 1756 to 1763. Here, Count de Lally of the French attempted to besiege Wandiwash in 1760. In this decisive battle, Sir Eyre Coote of the English army defeated the French and imprisoned Bussy. Lally escaped and hid in Pondicherry. Finally, Ayerkot attacked Pondicherry and Lally had to surrender unconditionally in 1761. Here, Count de Lally, he was the French. He tried to capture Vandivash in the 1760. Sir Ayerkot of the English army defeated the French and imprisoned Bussy. Count de Lally escaped from the battlefield and he hid in Pondicherry. Sir Ayerkot attacked Pondicherry. Count de Lally had to surrender without any conditions in the year 1761. The French lost all their bases in India due to the Carnatic Wars, especially due to the Third Carnatic War. In spite of this, as per the Treaty of Paris signed in 1763, Pondicherry was returned to French. Third Carnatic War came to an end by the Treaty of Paris. The Treaty of Paris was signed in the year 1763. As per this Treaty of Paris, Pondicherry was given back to the French. With this development, the French lost their importance in India. Slowly they lost their importance, and the English, by defeating all their rivals, Portuguese, Dutch, French, started consolidating their power in southern India. In the beginning, British defeated the European trade companies. After defeating them, they slowly tried to establish their control over South India. Dear students, in the next video, we shall see how the British established their supremacy over South India with the help of Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, and the dual government concept. Thank you for watching this video.